Ashley Abbott found herself consumed by a dark and twisted sense of satisfaction at the thought of Tucker McCall's death. Her once deep love for him had morphed into a burning hatred, a desire for revenge that she could no longer suppress. The bitterness and betrayal she felt festered within her, driving her to the brink of insanity. She could no longer wait for karma to take its course, she needed to take matters into her own hands. Ashley was determined to make Tucker pay for the pain he had caused her. She saw him as a threat to her peace and happiness, and she believed that the only way to rid herself of this torment was to eliminate him. But how could she do it without raising suspicion? Her mind concocted a sinister plan, poisoning Tucker. She decided to invite him over for a drink, hoping to exploit the remnants of their past happiness to lower his guard. Ashley knew that Tucker would not suspect her of foul play, given their shared history of love and joy. Tucker McCall, despite his own scheming nature, would likely accept Ashley's unexpected invitation. Their past relationship was marked by moments of deep affection and understanding, and Tucker, ever the optimist about rekindling old flames, would see this as a chance to reconnect. Little did he know that Ashley's heart had turned to stone, and her intentions were far from amiable. Ashley meticulously prepared for the evening. She selected a fine bottle of wine, one that Tucker would appreciate, and carefully laced it with poison. Her hands trembled slightly as she mixed the deadly concoction, but her resolve was unwavering. This was the only way to free herself from the torment that Tucker's existence brought her. Meanwhile, Tucker and his new ally, Audra Charles, sensed the growing danger emanating from Ashley. They could see the change in her demeanor, the cold glint in her eyes that hinted at her malevolent intentions. They decided it was best to keep their distance from her, to avoid any confrontations that might provoke her wrath. Little did they know that Ashley was already several steps ahead in her deadly game. As the evening approached, Ashley sent Tucker a message, inviting him over for a drink and a conversation. Tucker, oblivious to the trap being set for him, readily agreed. He arrived at Ashley's home, greeted by her with a seemingly genuine smile. The tension in the air was palpable, but Tucker's nostalgia for their past moments of happiness clouded his judgment. They sat in the dimly lit living room, the atmosphere tinged with a mix of nostalgia and unspoken tension. Ashley poured them both a glass of the poison wine, her heart pounding with anticipation. She handed Tucker his glass, watching intently as he brought it to his lips. But before he could take a sip, Abby Newman burst into the room. She had discovered Ashley's plan and the poisoned wine. Her heart raced with fear and anger as she confronted her mother. "Mom, what are you doing?" Abby's voice trembled with a mix of shock and disbelief. "You can't do this." Ashley froze, the glass still in her hand. Her eyes flickered with a mix of anger and desperation. "Abby, you don't understand. This is the only way. He has to pay for what he's done." "No, Mom," Abby said firmly, stepping closer and taking the glass from Ashley's hand. "This isn't the way. You can't let your anger and hatred consume you like this. You're better than this." Tucker, now fully aware of the danger he had narrowly escaped, looked at Ashley with a mix of pity and caution. He realized that the woman he once loved had been driven to the brink by her own demons, and he knew that staying close to her would only invite more danger. Ashley, seeing the fear and concern in Abby's eyes, felt a moment of clarity wash over her. She realized that her quest for revenge had nearly led her down a path of no return, a path that would have destroyed not only Tucker but herself as well. Tears welled up in Ashley's eyes as she collapsed into a chair, the weight of her actions bearing down on her. Abby knelt beside her, holding her hand tightly. "It's okay, Mom," Abby whispered. "We'll get through this together. But you have to let go of this anger. It's not worth it." Ashley nodded weakly, her resolve crumbling. She knew that Abby was right, but the road to redemption would be long and arduous. For now, she could only be grateful that her daughter had stopped her from making an irreversible mistake. As Tucker and Audra left Ashley's home, they both knew that the danger had not fully passed. But they also understood that Ashley was a woman on the edge, torn between her love and her hatred. And while they would remain cautious, they also hoped that she could find a way back to the light, away from the darkness that had nearly consumed her.